Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys had a good couple weeks since my last upload. This video it's gonna be like my biggest project ever. This is gonna be a really big video, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, I'm excited to get into it. This is my little storage system. I built it in the side of the forest we did last video, because I kind of needed a new storage system, and I thought that we could utilize the new copper golem buddies. So I'm probably gonna put more of them in the future, like behind the chest. But right now we just have this little guy sorting it all. He's pretty slow, but yeah, back there I'm hoping to like do the things where there's the copper golems behind, and then there's like hoppers that flow like all around the whole area. Obviously this is like super unfinished, like I don't have a roof or anything, and it's kind of in a weird spot because it's just like underneath the whole mountain, but I think it'll be cool when I'm done with it. Like, it just connects right out into the forest, so I can just walk right out here when I'm done. And it's also pretty hidden from everything else, so it's tucked away here. But getting back over here, I feel like there's a little bit of a jump from the old buildings to the new port buildings. So I think today we're gonna work on something that can kind of connect them up and bridge that gap that is kind of noticeable. Like, you can see I had more of a thought going into the new ones than these old buildings, and I kind of have an idea for it that I really like. I saw on Pinterest like a little copper golem bar, and it really it really inspired me to put something just like that. So I think that's what we're gonna be doing, probably some little low-key like copper golem bar over here. But yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking, and yeah, let's jump into it. And just like that, we have completed the bar. So you can see on the outside, I was trying to make this look pretty worn down, and I wanted it to look rustic. So I used ancient debris, which is pretty expensive, but it really helps add that look that it's worn down, especially near the ceiling, or I mean the roof. It looks like it's been like kind of getting worn down and weathered for a while. I added this little thing. It's just a frog light behind a trapdoor, but I like it because it gives it light at night, and the walls are pretty boring, so it kind of helps to break that up a bit. The interior is really where this build shines. I focused on this way more than the outside. We've got little paintings up here, and right here is where all the liquor is stored. Like it's like a little showcase of all the liquor. And then up here is the bar with our copper golem, and he's in like an infinite loop of just bringing that bottle, and then it gets sent back to this chest. These are supposed to be like the high top seating at the bar, and they're really cool. They're just extended pistons, and then I put a little mangrove pressure plate on top. But back there is more liquor, and I put little bottles in the shelves there. And I didn't really know how to make this look like a bar, but I think I did as best as I could. I tried to base this off the taps of beer that you'd find in a bar. And then for this rug, it's just coral on the waterlogged stairs. I like this design, it looks kind of cool. I don't have a name for this, so let me know down in the comments a cool name for this little bar. Switching over to the main project for this episode, we're gonna need something to connect this forest up with this one. And what better way to do that than to add a third forest? I want this one to be super dense, like you're actually hiking through the Appalachian Mountains. I think we did a better job last video, but I've learned some new ways to make a seriously dense forest. The biggest problem is that we're gonna need an insane amount of trees. So to fix that problem, we're gonna have to start working on a log stripper, since basically all the trees I'm planning on using are made up out of stripped wood or stripped logs. And I actually forgot, but I made this little sheep farm, since what I'm planning on doing utilizes like a lot of wool. So you can see this thing's like overflowing, so I really need to I wish there was a way to turn it off, but I'll probably just have to extend the storage a bunch just so that it doesn't lag my game. But over here is where all my farms are that I use, like my tree farm and then my moss farm. And then I'm planning on putting the log stripper right around here, right next to my furnace array. Hopefully this is a smooth process, but yeah, let's just start on that. After I finished building the entire log stripper, I realized that it just doesn't work, at all. So I had to go and redesign the entire thing myself, and I had to break half of the entire machine just to get it to work again. So before we actually start working on the forest, we're going to need to head over to my storage area and pick out some blocks that we're going to use for the build. So for the leaves of the trees, we're definitely going to need all of these. We'll use the acacia leaves as the highlights, and then we'll need some oaks to bridge it down a little bit. You can see that the azalea is the lightest, and then we'll need some birch to go even darker than the oak, This will be a little bit for more of the shadier areas. You can see we already have a nice gradient for the leaves going. So it's the lightest here, and then it works its way down to the birch. But then we're going to use spruce as the darkest. So that will be like the bottom of the tree. For the foliage, we'll probably grab some firefly bushes. These just, they add a lot. I like the little fireflies that float around at night. And then we'll grab some dry grass. That just helps blend stuff around. So we'll start grabbing some blocks to start working on our rocks. So we'll start with some tuff. You can see that'll be our lightest shade probably. And then basalt probably for the darker tones. But yeah, alright, pale moss blocks. These are good, but I honestly don't even know like which is darker out of the two. They kind of look the exact same. So I just put them next to each other and like they kind of just at least differentiate it a little bit. We're gonna need some acacia. I'll make that wood later, but you can see that that's a pretty good blend. I don't know if I want to switch out the tuff. Alright, it's fine. But then acacia to pale oak. That works well. And then let's grab just do the basalt. And then probably smooth basalt after. Yeah. We'll grab some smooth basalt, and then this will be our darkest. So you can see we already have a great gradient for our rocks. Place that back. But yeah, tough is the lightest, and it works its way down to smooth basalt. I might add in some cobbled deep slate, probably, but for now that works. With all that out of the way, I think we're ready to start working on this. Wow, so we have finished building up this forest. This thing was way more of a pain than I actually originally thought it was going to be. Like, I think this entire forest took up like 17,000 leaves or something like that. It's insane. But I think it was worth it building this thing because, I mean, just the way that it ties both sides of the harbor together, and it just looks like a huge thick forest. So you can see over here I have a giant shulker monster. This was way more organized before, but when I actually started building up the forest, I realized that all the shulkers were where I actually had to work on the forest, so I had to move them. But yeah, when we walk up here, you can see I just put so many trees, and I wanted it to like feel like a really grand giant forest when you're walking through here. And then you can see the hostel looks so nice, like it's just like covered by the trees. Like I didn't even plan for this, but just looking at this just makes me so happy. Like the way it's just hiding in the forest and then it's kind of inviting you to come over there, it's just so cool. But as we walk up here, you can see that we're missing a lot of foliage, and I kind of put some like of these birch leaves around, but I think it would definitely add to like the density if we just put a lot more of these leaves around, and probably even threw in some tall grasses and tall ferns. I feel like that would really help with the look of this forest. We'll get back to that in a second, but right now, like, bro, I'm in love with the new trees that I've been working on. Like this leaning tree over the little pathway with the rocks next to it and stuff, dude, this is like And I put a bunch of azalea leaves at the top, and it gradually gets like darker at the bottom as it leans over. Like this is, I'm so happy with how this turned out, bro. Like the old trees I did in my other forest were not as like detailed and as like realistic as these. Like, oh my god, I love them. Like it really looks like the sunshine is hitting the top of the trees and the shade is actually at the bottom. But before I glaze myself entirely, I just want to talk about we need to get back to the foliage here because it's really lacking, and I think that'll definitely help spice up this forest a lot if we get it really dense and thick with some nice foliage. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll be back in a few minutes. You can already see the difference that all the addition of the foliage has made. Like, even now, we can see that all this foliage just like makes it feel so much more immersive. When we're walking through here, it actually feels like there's a clear path, and then the sides off the trail, they're all like messy bushes and it's not traversable. So it really makes you feel like you're actually hiking through a real life nature. And then the front area here feels like much more alive and not as bland as it did before. Now that we've added all the tall bushes and tall grass and a lot of the spruce leaves too. And then you can see I used spruce saplings here with string on top, and these kind of look like little, maybe baby pine trees or something, or little bushes that are still growing up here in the front. For the most part, this forest is really thriving and alive, but over here I did the same thing as last time with the roots and the like firefly bushes to try to be like dead plant material and stuff. And I always love these, the little fallen like trees, and then they're just being reclaimed by like nature with the pale moss and stuff. It's always awesome. And if we head up here towards like, this is basically the end of the trail. We have lots of boulders and rocks on the side, which obviously like are nice to throw off the just dirt and grass everywhere. And then yeah, I like to switch them up between more grayish rocks, and then I also use the raw iron and what is it, granite? Yeah, granite for the more orangey rocks. And then of course we have to have a little pond with a little waterfall coming down. I mean, come on, you gotta have this. I love doing it with the little what are they called again? I always forget their names, but the cat things. Yeah, but no, this is awesome. And I put a little log at the top of the waterfall so you can walk over it. But I mean, I basically just put bushes and leaves and lots of foliage everywhere just to make it feel a little bit more alive than it did before. But no, I really love how this has turned out, especially with the leaning trees over the just different areas like rocks and pathways, and then this little fallen leaf over the waterfall. And yeah, man, I really love this forest. And then we got this beautiful view of the port just between these trees. Yeah, I'm really in love with how this turned out. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could have asked for a better turnout and final result for this forest. But we are not done yet. We have one major thing to do, and that is I just really do not like the look of these vanilla mountains in the back. When I first started this world, I thought they were sick. And yeah, the seed is sick, but I mean, I really just, they don't fit anymore. And we need to have a giant mountain that really matches what we have going on here. So, I have one planned, and I think it's really gonna be awesome. I'm gonna blow even probably this forest out of the water. So we are gonna go look at the materials we have and get working on it. If I walk over here, I mean, you can just see we have shulker boxes scattered everywhere, and these things are just filled to the brim with like thousands of blocks. I've been planning on this project for literal months, and it's gone through so many variations, so many different iterations, and I'm finally ready to just say, like, I have a final version for this, and I'm so excited to get started on it. So I'm gonna stop talking and wasting time, and I'm gonna start laying down the foundation for this. Wow, I honestly am so surprised at how I was even able to pull off something of this scale. This is the most beautiful thing I've like ever worked on in Minecraft, and this seriously encapsulates like everything I wanted for this town, and it really just makes me happy to see like I was able to make something that looks this amazing and this beautiful. The shape of the mountain and a lot of the features were actually designed by a guy I met on Discord named Gario, but I changed a lot of the colors and worked with it a lot to fit my world more. You can see we now actually have a waterfall for the waterfall, and it's kind of like the snow caps are melting down and just trickling down into this forest, which is really cool. This thing is genuinely so massive, and I'm so surprised that I was actually able to do the forest and the mountain in one episode, but I'm so happy to release it to you guys because now you guys get to see it. With the mountain now here, like the forest actually has scale, and it really feels like you're walking in some sort of forest that's maybe sitting at the foot of a giant mountain. It's just towering in the sky. Dude, this view of the hostel with the mountain behind it just genuinely makes me so happy to look at. Just the colors of the mountain, and God, that looks so amazing. I love this. The forest was awesome before, but now with the mountain behind it, like this thing feels like actually real. Like it actually feels like you're walking through a real forest. And I know that I said that before, but now with the mountain, like looking up at these giant cliffs, I mean, wow, like this is so cool. And if we go and fly up, I can show you, I put so many like different colored variations. Like I wanted it to look like there was like iron in the mountain, and then just being up here, like wow, it really gives us a sense of what the town looks like from above. And oh, this is so cool. You can see I used a lot of colored blocks like dripstone and mud and even dirt to get those brownish like iron deposit looking areas. And then for the darker shadows, I used a lot of basalt and a lot of pale oak. Pale oak wood is such a cool block for shading. And then I put some gray terracotta right there in the middle. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This was by far my biggest project, and it took so much time. That's why it's a little bit late getting out to you guys. But yeah, I really hope you guys like this. I'm going to continue to pump out videos like this and just try to make them as best quality as I can and as grand as this one. I already have some really cool and unique plans for the next few videos, and I really think you guys are going to like them. They probably won't be on the scale of this size, but they're still going to be really awesome, and I will see you guys in the next one.